Good afternoon, everyone. It's now 5:30. I'd like to call the Calhoun County October 23rd, 2023 meeting to order. Just wanted you to give us the invocation, please, ma'am.
Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together today. May we honor one another by keeping an open mind. May we speak and listen with an open heart and discern your will to unite in an effective outcome. Amen.
Thank you, ma'am. May I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Properly moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, likewise, the ayes have it. John, do we have anybody for public comment?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay, no public comments. Entertain a motion for approval of the minutes, October 9.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, likewise, the ayes have it. Appointments, MUSC,
John, you got those names?
I do, yes, sir.
it's just John and Richard.
I'll kick it down to me and then y'all can.
Okay.
Okay. John, you can explain a little bit about that executive committee, because we've been changing committees down there pretty frequently.
Yes, sir, as you said, Mr. Chairman, we are changing the board again for the hospital. This will be called the MUSC Executive Committee. The previous board was the Legacy Committee, but ultimately, the Legacy Committee was put together to get the lease going and get it started and up and running, and now it's going to be turned over more to both Orangeburg and Calhoun County administratively. And Calhoun County gets 3 appointments on this executive committee. And the 3 appointments would be myself, Richard Hall, and Ms. Roseal Warren, the county administrator, St. Matthews.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we appoint John McLaughlin, Richard Hall, and Roseal Warren to the Executive Committee of MUSC.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Properly moved and second that we appoint those 3 names Ken just mentioned to the MUSC Executive Committee.
Could I just clarify, make sure that everybody knows that Roseal Warren is the
Yeah.
town administrator for St. Matthews, just
Okay,
so
okay.
everybody's aware who that is.
Any more discussions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, likewise, the ayes have it. Thank you. Okay. No more appointments.
No, sir.
Anybody have any appointments? None?
No, sir.
We have a proclamation, November as Family Court Awareness Month. For some reason, I don't have that with me.
I've got it. Would you like me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead and read it if you have it.
All right, proclamation, November as Family Court Awareness Month. Whereas the mission of the Family Court Awareness Month Committee is to increase awareness of the importance of a family court system that prioritizes child safety and acts in the best interest of children. Whereas the mission of the FCAMC is fueled by the desire to create awareness and change in the family court system. Estimated 58,000 children per year ordered into unsupervised contact with abusive parents, while honoring the hundreds of children who have been reported as murdered during visitation with dangerous parents. And whereas the mission of the FCAMC is to increase awareness of the importance of education and the training of domestic violence and child abuse, including emotional, psychological, physical, and sexual abuse, as well as childhood trauma, coercive control, and post-separation abuse for judges and all professionals working on cases within the family court system. And whereas the mission of the FCAMC is to increase awareness of the importance of using scientifically valid, evidence-based treatment programs and services that are proven in terms of safety, effectiveness, and therapeutic value. And whereas the mission of the FCAMC is to educate judges and other family court professionals on evidence-based, peer-reviewed research. Such research is a critical component to making decisions that are truly in the best interest of children. This research includes the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study, child custody evaluators' belief about domestic abuse allegations, and child custody outcomes in cases involving parents and abuse allegations. And whereas the Calhoun County Council encourages all residents to support their local community's efforts to prevent the harm of children in the hands of family members and to honor and value the lives of children. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed this 23rd day of October 2023 that Calhoun County Council hereby declares the month of November to be Family Court Awareness Month.
Okay, may I have a motion that we approve that proclamation? May I have a motion that we approve that proclamation? I'm sorry.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moving second for approval of the proclamation.
Can I make some comments on that?
Yes, sir, any further discussion? Yeah, you go
Of
ahead.
course, having spent 30-something years in the school system, I just would like to say that some of us sitting in this room, a lot of us, most of us sitting in this room could not imagine what happens to these children when they go home and how they're kicked around like footballs. So many times I would have two parents in and I would have to come to the defense of the child and let the parent know that we were not in there to use that child as a weapon against the other parent. And it was just, it was a terrible situation that you would see. I know that there possibly people, maybe people sitting in this room have been through the same thing. Probably not, but maybe so. We do not realize what some of these children go through in order to make it to adulthood. And then we wonder why our prison systems get filled up, et cetera. But there's a logical reason why those people are those persons, I'm gonna call them persons because they're not those people, they're persons. And we are not, I don't think many of our, and it's not just lower class, it's all classes. So anyhow, I just wanted to add that as we take this vote.
Okay, any further discussion on the proclamation? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, likewise, the ayes have it. Under appearances, Jeff Price with the Fire Commission updates.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
I would like to start by saying that since you all passed the ordinance establishing one fire district, things have all been roses. But you all know better than that. As with change in all facets of life, there will always be challenges, and this is definitely the case with combining the fire districts. We all knew this from the start. I do not want to dwell on negatives, so I will focus on the positive things the commission has done. The commission has started having annual DOT inspections done on all county fire apparatuses. In the past, due to financial constraints, the rural fire district only had an annual maintenance done on its apparatus. This was things such as oil changes, filter replacements, that being air and oil, greasing, minor stuff, none of the major stuff. The burn building has been completed with the exception of paint. It has been used by several departments. All comments from the departments using it have been positive. We're looking at adding more features to the burn building, as well as more training props in and around the Doodle Hill property. The commission has followed the lead of county council and formed committees to study and make recommendations on different challenges and issues facing the fire commission and service. One of these committees dealt with electric vehicle fires and collisions. Another is looking into updating the coordinator's job description and responsibilities. The committee approach, I think, has been a success. The old rural fire district was doing well as far as establishing standards for equipment used in all departments. One of the standards we adopted was MSA thermal imaging cameras. When we adopted these cameras as a standard, they cost us $6,500 each. The last ones purchased were $8,500 each. We needed to purchase 2 more to complete all first out engines having thermal imaging cameras on them. The commission approved buying 2 more to finish the standard. It was then found out that the cost of these cameras had increased to almost $13,000 each. The cameras were not ordered, and at the next meeting it was discussed, looked into, and changing our standards for a more affordable camera is what we did. We found that camera, and all departments agreed that we should adopt the FLIR K55 camera to be that standard at a cost of $49.46 each. We're not replacing the MSAs. The next 2 cameras we buy will be the FLIR K55. Sandy Run has agreed to use that camera, from what I understand also. So any more purchasing, as we replace them, we'll replace them with the FLIR K55. We do have one major hurdle we are facing in the future. It is not going to be an easy task. This is combining the budgets of the former Calhoun County Rural Fire District and the Sandy Run Fire District. With the commission operating on 2 different budgets, we are basically operating 2 districts with 1 commission. As we move forward, there will be many more challenges facing us, but I believe with open minds, we can all work together and improve the fire service of Calhoun County.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Anyone have any questions for Jeff?
No, sir.
Thank you, Jeff. No more appearances. Any old business, John?
No, sir.
No old business. Under new business, we have the approval participating in insulin claim. You want
Yes,
to kind
sir.
of explain
Yes,
that?
sir. Council, if you remember, for those who were here, with the opioid claim that we joined back roughly 2 years ago, we joined with a number of different counties throughout the state, and so far we have been receiving funds from that. Those funds are detailed on what they can be spent on, and what we've done is we've teamed up with Orangeburg County and their opioid funds, the Dawn Center, and the hospital. So we're trying to get the professionals the money that they need for education, for materials, Narcan, things of that nature that they might need. Very similar to that, we've been approached with an insulin claims, and I'll read you what it says here. It says to investigate the viability of and to prosecute all claims against the insulin manufacturers and pharmacy benefit managers who artificially inflated the price of insulin, along with their respective parent companies, subsidiaries, and affiliates that contributed to the damages incurred by the county, arising out of overpricing of the insulin both in and to Calhoun County. And so, just like the opioid, I would recommend to move forward on this approval, please.
John, just to let everybody know, that doesn't cost us a dime, right?
No, sir, it does not.
Just want to know that Calhoun
The
County.
legal fees come out of the settlement that we'll receive. If we do not receive a settlement, the lawyers do not get paid.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We have a motion for approval of participation in the insulin claim.
So moved.
Second. Properly moving second. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed likewise, the ayes have it. Second item we have under new business is development agreement, Calhoun County Replacement Class 2 landfill project.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, those of you who were here roughly almost 3 years ago now, know that Calhoun County, because of inflation, because of cost of heavy equipment to stay in the landfill business, and the rising cost ultimately to run the landfill, you guys approved to get out of landfill business in start looking for someone to purchase our permitted capacity. And since then, I know it's been a long time, but since then, we've put it out for bid twice, and we've been negotiating with the developer. But ultimately, this is an agreement to replace Class 2 landfill between Access Materials LLC in Calhoun County. And ultimately, we will be selling our permit, our DHEC permit, solid waste permit, to this individual, to this company, to use as capacity, landfill capacity for C&D, construction and demolition only. This is not household garbage. This is only limbs, leaves, wood, whatever C&D material that generates. And so this is an agreement. You've got a copy of the agreement. And certainly, we've vetted it out. We've talked to the developer. We've talked with DHEC, who will ultimately have to permit this tonnage at a new site, and they don't have a problem with it either. And so this property is actually in Calhoun County in the Sandy Run area, and we feel like that's the area that's going to be growing the most. That's the area that's going to need that availability. And so I'd like to ask for a recommendation to approve the development agreement between Calhoun County and Access Materials LLC.
I make a motion we approve it.
I'll second it.
Properly moved in second. Any further discussion?
Yes, sir. I would like to, I don't think you mentioned the fact that we are getting a cut rate,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
On some of our tonnage going in there.
We're getting so much for free, and then after that tonnage, we actually get a reduced rate.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of benefits. One other benefit that we made sure that we looked at and that is in the agreement is if the developer decides to get out of the landfill business, and whether they sell it or just get out, our Calhoun County will be attached to that tonnage, that DHEC permit tonnage. And so wherever that goes, we will go with it, okay? So we're not gonna be without space for C&D. And when I say we, I mean county, the government of Calhoun County, not the citizens. The citizens will, they'll still be able to utilize the convenience sites. They'll still be able to utilize a number of avenues, but yes, sir, we are protected from that standpoint.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, likewise, the ayes have it. Anything else on the new business?
No, sir.
Nothing else on the new business. Okay, we down to ordinances. First reading on ordinance 2023-19. An ordinance to amend the building codes and regulations.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This is to add the property maintenance code piece into the ordinance, and so we can actually regulate better, more responsibly. And it also helps clean up properties, rundown properties, undesirables, things that we may have a problem with, the sheriff's department may have a problem with, things of that nature. And so what this does is it actually adds the property maintenance code into this ordinance. And this is first reading.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adopt 2023-19. Wait a minute, is that the right way?
Yes, sir.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, likewise, the ayes have it. Okay. First reading ordinance, an ordinance amending Chapter 26 of the Calhoun County Code of Ordinances regarding the definition of a public nuisance and provisions for the emergency abatement of a public nuisance.
All right, yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to defer to our judge here, if you
Okay.
don't mind coming up. I think we're actually finalizing something we started previously,
Okay.
that Judge Bloom will be glad to tell you.
I'm allowed under judicial ethics and canons to comment on interests of law and the betterment of the judicial system and the community. And so that's why I'm here tonight. I'm glad to answer your questions, but in a nutshell, This is a model ordinance. Yeah, I've reviewed it. I've worked with Richard Hall with the county on it. He's done most of the heavy lifting, I need to add. But what it does is when there are properties, whether they've been abandoned and they're infested with rodents and birds and raccoons, or if you recall a couple of years ago, the Club Rolex we had, which was operating a liquor, food, and entertainment business without a single license a couple of years ago, and there was guns there, and shootings, sexual assaults, other criminal offenses, and you all passed an emergency ordinance to address that situation. This is a more permanent solution, not just a Band-Aid. So in those events where there is a business or an establishment that needs to either be condemned or potentially shut down, it provides an avenue for the county administrator or the sheriff to come through magistrate court, not just them independently slapping a closed sign on a business, but to come through magistrate court and prove a case of a nuisance, similar to Club Rolex, where we had, as I say, shootings, assaults in the parking lot, and things of that nature. And the magistrate judge would hear it, and if proven, the magistrate judge can issue an order to either temporarily or permanently close that business. The person, business owner, property owner, obviously has a right to appeal if the ruling goes against them, and they can appeal to circuit court. And that's kind of it in a nutshell. You may recall under Club Rolex, it's the only time I've ever seen, instead of them having, and I don't mean to be misogynist, instead of having a hat check girl or a hat check clerk, they had a gun check clerk. And that's not a joke. They had people bringing firearms and checking them at the door. And that was a problem. That's what this ordinance, in a more comprehensive fashion, is designed to address as some of these things crop up. But not just the establishment that's engaging in unlawful conduct. Also, as I say, buildings that are subject to be condemned because they're run down or things like that. But it provides an avenue both for the county, through the sheriff or administrator, as well as the property owner to come to court and litigate it, present their evidence, present their witnesses, and let the magistrate judge hear it and rule on the evidence. I'm glad to answer any questions.
Judge, I just got one question for you.
Sure.
We had another incident, I think, I don't know, it was quite in the sand around the area, but it was up that way, where a property owner had wasn't a club, but he had loud noises, he said. Do we address that in that?
It has been addressed through a letter from the county administrator, and the person has been very receptive to that and is trying to make corrections. But that would address this too. It would provide an avenue where if the corrections aren't made, or if the property owner contests it and says, hey, I'm not required to do that, the property owner also has an avenue to file an action in magistrate court to say, hey, make that back off and leave me alone. So that has been addressed, Mr. Chairman, without recourse to the court. The property owner and the county talked, and the property owner was unaware of the concerns.
Mr. Chairman, may I come in?
Those immediate
Or you want-
concerns
you got a
were
motion
addressed
first?
without the need.
Well, if you got just a question for Judge Bloom before I get to it. go
Well,
ahead.
I wanted to say that in the Club Rolex situation, if I remember correctly, we were getting a lot of out-of-state traffic to that situation. We had been seen probably as the soft underbelly of law enforcement with that, and because of that, we were attracting people all up and down the East Coast and maybe even further away, if I remember correctly.
Well, there was no ordinance at the time, because we didn't inspect it.
Correct, that's what I'm saying. We didn't, but they rapidly
That's right.
came in behind that.
That's right. The sheriff acted really quickly in that regard. And I
Right.
want to commend the sheriff's office in that regard. But it did require you all to pass an emergency ordinance. If you recall at the time. This is a permanent fix to those types of
Right.
issues.
Okay, any other questions for Judge Bloom? Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and council members.
And I'd like to interject here how fortunate we are to have Judge Bloom, not only because he cares. You know, he's doing a lot of things here because he cares, so I am appreciative of that.
Right.
That's why it put me in the Duncan booth at the county.
But he raised a lot of money.
Okay, now entertain a motion for approval of first reading on ordinance 2023-20.
I make a motion to accept ordinance 2023-20.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, likewise, the ayes have it. Number 3, ordinance 2023-21, first reading. An ordinance to amend Chapter 2, Article 1, Section 2-1 of the Calhoun County Code of Ordinances to designate legal holidays for Calhoun County and for observance thereof.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. What we're asking for is, and we've polled a number of counties throughout the state, but what we are asking for is to add 2 holidays in the year. The first would be Juneteenth, June 19th, and then the second would be Columbus Day, which is the second Monday in October.
Okay, any further discussion on that? Okay, all in favor?
Well,
I'm sorry, may I have a motion that we approve it? I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we have first reading to 2023-21.
Second.
Properly moving second. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, likewise, the ayes have it. John, we're down to you.
All right, sir. First of all, I'd like to introduce Mr. Harvey Elwood here. He's with Perspectives Media out of Orangeburg, but we try to pull him over to Calhoun County as much as we can. He's going to be here taping some of this. He's got his own station. He'd like to do some interviews as well, and so I'm appreciative of him coming tonight. We've got some railroad crossings. So Safety Services and Supply will be closing roads for the railroad at the below locations starting November the 9th through the 30th, okay? So pretty much the whole month of November. These road crossings will be closed. Bear Road, Riley Road, RF Huff, SR 62, Preference, Hemlock, Winges, SR 25 at Fort Mott Road, Wise, Moy, and we've got 2 private roads that are also going to be on in the Fort Mott area, close to the Congaree River there. But just want to make sure that the public knows, if anybody has any questions, please give me a call or Shayla a call, but that will be from November the 9th through the 30th. Those crossings will be shut down for maintenance. The next thing is, on Saturday, November the 11th, we are going to have our Veterans Day celebration. We tried to have it last year. Robin Rucker, who is our director here in Calhoun County, has done an excellent job along with all the other committee members. But it will, we will start at the town hall and actually walk over to our courtyard here between the annex and the courthouse, and we'll have some presentations going on then, but that will be November the 11th at 11 o'clock, okay? The parade starts at 10:15 at the town hall parking lot, but the actual presentation will be here at 11 o'clock. Would love to have a big turnout for this and thank our veterans. And last but not least, I want to say thank you to all the staff, county staff, all the sponsors, all the participants of the industry appreciation. It was the 7th year of us doing that, having the annual appreciation golf tournament. We had 12 teams this year, which is about right. We're usually between 12 and 13, 14 teams. But really, it's truly a good day. I appreciate county council coming, those of you who did show up. I appreciate you coming and interacting with them. It's about networking and socializing and just telling them thank you. You know, most of these industries, we don't see the CEOs or the CFOs necessarily, but they sponsor it. They send their employees out to interact and have a good time. So I want to tell everybody thank you for that too. And that's it for me, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Can you add something?
Yeah, I'd like to ask a question. I noticed you mentioned Hemlock is being repaired, with the railroads.
Yes, sir.
Hemlock and one other crossing are supposed to be eventually shutting down, right, as a result of the industrial park?
Just Hemlock. Just
Just
Hemlock.
Hemlock.
Yes, sir. Rough Road over in Orangeburg, we shut that down.
But
So
this is not the shutdown, this is
This
Oh,
is,
repair.
this is maintenance, yes, sir. If you look along the rail now, you'll see the new
Right.
rail lines on the side. They're installing that, yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone else? Let me just say, I, along with our community development director, will be attending a gathering with Orangeburg and Calhoun County at this, with the, I guess in conjunction with the Samaritan House, to try to discuss our homeless problems in these two counties, Orangeburg and Calhoun County. So I will be, I just don't come down here and that's it. I just want the public to know that we have other places to go during the week, but we will be trying to come up with some ideas on how we can address that problem. I'll be getting back with y'all. Can you?
Well, the only thing I want to know is nothing that was mentioned of our toot on.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sorry.
Because people will see us riding around in a van,
Yeah,
and I want to make sure that they understand the process we've been
yeah,
through
sorry, yeah.
to be
Yes,
able to.
sir. So what Councilman Westbury is talking about is something that we've been trying to do for some time now. I feel like when we did this over in Orangeburg and Aiken, it was a success. But that is to get county council in a van and go from one end of the county to the other. We've got a lot going on, a lot of developments, a lot of projects. You know, you guys have voted on things in the past, and I'm not sure that you know exactly where it is all the time. So this will be going from starting off, we're gonna start here, 9 o'clock Wednesday morning, leave here at 9 o'clock. We're gonna head up to exit 119, and start up there with the new interchange improvements, industrial parks, and like I said, a number of projects all the way down to Low Falls Landing. Be prepared for a full day.
Okay, thank you, Ken.
And that will be posted, as well as the times, the rough times that we should be at every location. That way, if the public wants to meet us at a certain place, that'll be fine too. Okay?
Thank you. Okay. No further business. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Second.
Probably moving second. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Thank you, Mr. Elwood. I didn't even realize that when you out there without the necktie. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's going tireless, and that's,
Yeah.
that's, yeah, okay. All right.